What if I die? Well, you could die here. Hello, how have you been? Here I am, sitting down, talking to you about solo travel, which is the new thing I'm into. In the past 6 months, I have been to 5 countries. I've been to Spain, Italy, France, Malta, and Hungary. I went to Venice and Hungary by myself on a solo trip, and honestly, it was very, very, very fun. I absolutely love solo traveling. So I'm sitting here talking to you about solo traveling and why I love it so much and why you should start solo traveling. So I went on Instagram and I asked people if they wanted to see this video, and a lot said yes, and they gave me some questions that I will answer later on in this video. First off, I do want to address why you should solo travel, because I think that's important. You can solo travel, but why do you want to solo travel? So the main reason why I started solo traveling is because I have no friends. I'm kidding, I have friends, I guess. I do have friends and they love traveling as well, but sometimes, most of the time, our schedule is not in sync, nor do we have the same budget. So it's really difficult to kind of organize a trip together, especially since they might want to do something and I might want to do something else. So I knew for a fact that if I couldn't go with friends and I couldn't go on my own, then I would have not gone at all. So I would rather go by myself and enjoy those countries than go with no one and not go at all. Does that make sense? I hope it does. First and foremost, I wanted to travel, I wanted to see places, and if I couldn't do it with someone, then I will just do it myself. And that brings me to my next part. Because you can't go with anyone, you organize your trip. This is your own trip. You get to schedule what you want to do. You get to choose what time you wake up, what time you want to leave. What you do on that trip all depends on you. And that independence is really, really, really exciting to me. I love organizing and figuring out what I'm doing when I'm traveling. I guess solo traveling as well forces you to enjoy being alone. I used to be quite scared of being alone, but now in the 3 years I've been living in the UK, I've learned to love it. I've learned to love being by myself and being one with my thoughts and really just taking in the scenery. It's exciting to be alone in a strange place because you force yourself to be comfortable. And you force yourself to understand who you are as a person, and it teaches you a lot of value and a lot about your independence and takes you out of your comfort zone in a very straightforward way. Also, I just think it's really, really peaceful. I really love the peace that solo traveling brings you. Yeah, sometimes being at home, working, it's fine, but sometimes you need that getaway, and solo traveling is one way to do it. Why you should solo travel is important. You need to understand your reasoning behind it. Is it because you want to take those really cool Insta shots? Because I do. I'm gonna be honest, I really love taking the Instagram shots and no one wants to wake up at 6 a.m. for it. Or do you do it for the place or the people? Are you going on vacation because you want to see a new place? Or do you do it because you want to get away with some friends and family? But that's really why I started solo traveling and why I think you should too. Let's move on to the questions that people have. The first thing that someone asked me is, how do you handle weird people alone? Yeah, you get a lot of weird people. Specifically those who ask you where you're from, want to hang out at night. The best thing I can say is be confident, know your place, learn to say no. Budget, safety, mode of traveling, halal food. Budget, know how much you want to spend, be really, really strict with that budget. As concern of safety and mode of traveling, I always try to do research before I go to the country so I know exactly what's the cheapest mode of transportation, especially for a tourist. And usually a lot of places provide day passes or 3-day passes, and those are really helpful because you can use all of the transport. How to know the good places locals love to visit. I don't know. I go to all the touristy spots because they are great, they are fantastic, and they're really, really pretty. If I have a free afternoon, I will go to a local spot. Google TripAdvisor is gonna be your friend. And if you do have a friend in that area, you can ask them. A lot of people tell me they have anxiety or they will get anxiety when they're traveling alone or they feel scared. Here's how I deal with it. If you are anxious about traveling, the best thing to do is to talk to someone about it. Why do you feel anxious about traveling alone? Are you scared that you won't have anyone to latch on to? Or is it because you're scared of the place or being alone? And solo traveling is one way to get over that fear, but you need to start doing it. Understanding that anxiety is a natural part of humanity. It's a natural part of our feelings that are valid. What we need to do is to accept it and then go and do it. Because if I lived with fear and I listened to all my fears, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be solo traveling. I would be at home, asleep, eating a lot of nachos, which is what I'll probably do after this. Ooh, this one's good. Communication. I go to countries where they don't speak English and definitely don't speak Malay. When I went to Paris, no one knew how to speak English. So what I did was I whipped out my Google Translate and just went English to French. And it worked. People knew that. People understood it. You should also learn some common phrases like hello, thank you, do you speak English? Just something that I think the locals would like. How do you take photos by yourself if you don't have anyone there? I have a video on that. You can watch it right here. I want to look bomb, but I don't want to become a target for scams and stuff. Yeah, that's really hard. I really like looking bomb as on my trips, as you can tell. But yeah, you can look a bit touristy, or people can tell you're doing this like for a photo shoot and people want to scam you. I do it either two ways. One, I dress like it early in the morning and then change it to something more casual. Or two, I dress bomb as and then I just ignore everyone who's trying to scam me or like talk to me. Very antisocial, but I keep everything safe. A lot of people are also asking about food, especially halal food. Personally, it's either I'm gonna be pescatarian on my trips, I research halal food, but to be honest, it's a little hard for me, or I bring my own food. So you know, like in Tesco or like the shops where they like buy like those soft rolls, I'll buy a bag of that will last me the whole week. And then I will bring Indomie for my dinner, and I bring instant coffee for like my coffee in the mornings just so I can have a decent lunch. I sacrifice my breakfast and my dinner so I can have really good lunch. What if I die? Well, you could die here. How are you thriving without any company? Because goals. But seriously, do you ever get lonely? Yes, I do get very lonely. And I love it. I love being alone. Hashtag alone forever. I don't need a man. I don't need anyone. Ha 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 ha. I'm in like a really weird space right now. Is it safe to travel alone? No. But nothing you do is ever really safe now, is it? Really, what I would say is take precautions on making yourself as safe as possible. So I have family members that know exactly where I am or where I'm going, where I'm staying, and I inform people just in case anything happens, as well as I have 911 on my phone. Some people asked about how do your parents react or how to tell your parents. I would not recommend doing what I did, which was not telling your parents until you sat down on the plane, take a photo, say, going to Italy, bye, and then turn off your phone. And then your dad and your mom being like, what? Don't do what I did. Maybe sit down and have a conversation about traveling before you actually go travel. They were not very happy with me. Regardless, I do think that if you are of legal age and that you want to do something, you should try and do it, so long as you have the money and can take care of yourself. How to not get lost when you're not good at navigating places. Download Google Maps, learn how to read maps, and really just try your best. Yes, you can get lost, but I think there's a beauty in getting lost as well. You need to spend at least like half a day wandering around, getting lost in some place new. That's what I do, is I get lost for one day and figure the place out. So that is all the questions that I've got. I hope you enjoy this why you should solo travel video because I highly, highly, highly recommend it to everyone. Most people won't, but I still recommend that you solo travel, especially if you want to learn about a new place or understand yourself and have a very deep revelation about your personality and that you need change in your life. But that's just me. Anyway, I gotta end the video now. My battery's dead. If you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Do like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps this channel out and me out, especially that I'm going back to Brunei and I have nothing else to do. Anyway, my name is Bash Harry, and thanks so much for watching. Bye! And we're good. We're great.